Lake Havasu City, Arizona, the home of the London Bridge. And we're here today on the beautiful Colorado River for the 1984 Coors Ocean Pacific World Jet Ski Championships. The best jet skiers in the world, 351 of them turning out to compete for a record $30,000 purse. It's going to be exciting. We'll be right back with all the action. Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Huffman here at Lake Havasu, and with me, Mark Lauber, a former top professional jet skier for over 6 years. Mark, it's good to have you back here at Lake Havasu this year.
Thank you, Larry. It's great to be back.
Let's talk about the 3 different types of competition this weekend.
It's going to be exciting, all 3 of them. We have slalom, freestyle, and closed course. Slalom is a timed event, 2 racers going against each other on different courses, and the best time wins.
And it's kind of like skiing.
It is. It's a lot like downhill snow skiing. Closed course pits 16 racers against one another, all on the same course at the same time. Head-to-head competition, probably the most exciting form of jet ski racing.
Over obstacles.
Over obstacles. We have 2 of them in the course this year. Should be exciting. Also, we have freestyle, which is a exhibition more of than a race. We have 2 minutes in which to execute as many difficult maneuvers as the racer can possibly do.
Now, that's interesting, the freestyle, which is probably the crowd favorite or one of the crowd favorites. It's judged on an Olympic scoring system by judges, and the more bizarre and crazy they get, and the more bizarre and crazy the crowd gets, that seems to get the points.
It does. It really gets the judges and the competitors fired up when the spectators react to the good tricks. You're going to see everything out here, from headstands to riding backwards, riding 2 jet skis at one time. One of the competitors jumps over 1 ski from front to back. It's going to be wet and wild.
Okay, this is the Coors OP World Jet Ski Championships, and as the name implies, it is a world championship. We got people from Australia, all across the United States. A lot of people here today.
No doubt about it. The best field of jet ski racers ever assembled for a large amount of prize money.
Let's talk about the top competitors.
Of course, Bendix is returning, a 4-time national champion last year, and he'll be very hotly contested by Larry the Rippenkroeger. Rippenkroeger currently leading the national point circuit so far this year, and it's going to come down to this race.
Now, he broke his wrist last year, Rippenkroeger. Is he ready this year?
I think he's really in top form. He's been working out all season long. His machinery is absolutely phenomenal, faster than it's ever been, and he's going to probably be the favorite here this weekend.
Any dark horses?
Yes, there is. From Wayland, Massachusetts, David Gordon, 19 years old, really been tough on the slalom and has been developing in the closed course. And any one of those guys could pull off a win here this weekend.
All right, that sets the stage. Let's take a look at a jet ski. 1980 World Jet Ski Champion Steve Strickland, who's been in jet skiing since almost before there were jet skis, over a dozen years. Steve, this is the 1985 550 jet ski. Explain how it works.
Well, that's right, Larry. This is the 85 550, which is the top of the line of the jet skis. The thing is 2 feet wide, 7 feet long, and weighs about 240 pounds. The thing steers like a bicycle. You can see here you turn right, left. There are electric start and stop switches. And this is your throttle over here. You pull this to go a little faster.
Now, one of the questions people ask is, what about the propeller on a jet ski? Isn't it dangerous? But there is no propeller.
Well, let's take a look at the bottom here real quick. As you can see, underneath the jet ski, there are no fins, rudders, propellers, or anything. It is a jet pump. It picks up water here, goes through the pump, and forces it out through the rear here, where there's a directional nozzle that hooks to the handlebars.
Okay, let's look at the inside.
Okay, inside here, Larry, you can see it's a 2-cylinder, 2-cycle, water-cooled engine, single carburetor, single exhaust. We have a 3.5-gallon gas tank. Gives you about a 30 to 35-mile range.
What happens when you fall off, which you do occasionally?
Well, the jet ski has a very unique feature. The engine will stay running, but it returns to an idle speed, and the thing will circle back around to the rider, and you might only have to swim about 5 feet to catch it.
And a jet ski costs about?
About $3,000 for this 550.
It's an awful lot of fun for $3,000.
It is great fun.
Steve Strickland, thank you for explaining what the modern jet ski is all about.
Thank you, Larry.
As the events got underway, the pro slalom finals found defending national women's champion Brenda Burns from Garden City, Kansas, setting her sights on a repeat victory. Brenda in the right lane came off the line with a quick lead, but had her hands full with Kelly Koster of Los Altos, California. Kelly, the current IJSBA Women's World Points leader coming into the finals, pulled even with the 17-year-old Kansas skier at the turnaround buoy. As our cameraman focused on Brenda's hard-charging style, Koster found the shorter track around the buoys, cutting him closer with a smooth run. And the pretty Californian clicked off a quicker time to drop the defending champion out of contention. But even Koster's time wasn't fast enough to stop Celeste Peterson of Sacramento, California. The 5-year jet skiing veteran, whose last 2 years of competition had been against the pro men, including her brother Derek, flashed through the slalom course to edge Koster by a second and a half. Her return to the women's division this season reflected the experience that earned Celeste Peterson her first world championship. In pro men's slalom, the first matchup of world champion favorites Bendix, Rippenkroeger, and Gordon, it was quickly decided as Dave Gordon of Wayland, Massachusetts rocketed off the line in his superstock run. Gordon in the right lane had dominated both pro superstock and modified slalom all season, racking up enough IJSBA points to place him third in the world standings. The 19-year-old skier wasted no time showing why he was considered the most improved rider of the year, using his aggressive attack on the slalom course to win his first title of the day and move closer to upsetting the favorites. Pro modified slalom featured the first head-to-head meeting for defending national champion Brian Bendix of Orangevale, California, and contender Larry Rippenkroeger of Santa Ana. Flyin Brian needed the win if he was to have any chance at all to overtake Rippenkroeger's world points lead. Bendix in the left lane and the Ripper on the right were dead even heading to the turnaround buoy when Larry slipped wide but appeared to be having trouble steering his ski. Moving into the first return marker, the Ripper ran over the buoy but quickly recovered to go back around it. Brian was flying on a smooth run and grabbed a long lead. Rippenkroeger was still having handling problems, and he knew his chances to win back the #1 crown had started to slip away. In a replay of his return run, it was obvious the points leader was having problems, and we learned when he got back to the finish line, the steering cable controlling his right turns had come loose, a costly break for the Ripper. Brian's hopes for his first championship of the weekend were quickly sidetracked, however, as the last qualifying run in the modified finals found 17-year-old Derek Peterson of Sacramento going off against his racing teammate Mike Castrucci of Byron, California. Derek, a former racing partner with Larry Rippenkroeger when they were teamed on Jetco-sponsored skis, had finished second in the nation at age 15. He was holding 5th in world points this season and had outridden both Bendix and Rippenkroeger in 3 events prior to the world finals. Derek, whose sister Celeste had already captured the women's slalom, powered flawlessly through tight slalom turns, pulling off the upset of the day to win the Pro Modified Slalom World Championship. Mark Lauber was at the finish line to talk with Derek.
What were you thinking about out there going around the buoys?
Just making it, not missing any buoys, and hope I can beat everybody else.
Looked like you were flying. Did you get a good start?
Yeah, I went off flying pretty good. I didn't feel I was as fast, so I was laying in the water a lot, but in the long run, I guess I was doing pretty good.
Takes a lot of concentration, doesn't it, the slalom event?
Yeah, it does, because you can't afford to make a mistake. And it really helped me not having Dave Gordon in there. My head's clear knowing he's not there to beat me, so that was pretty good.
At 17 years old, you're one of the veterans of jet ski racing. How much longer do you think you can continue on race?
I plan to have a couple more years, at least until I'm #1.
Miss World Jet Ski for this year's Coors OP World Jet Ski Championships, Teresa Sousa of Lake Havasu City. And you're a jet skier yourself.
Yes, I am. I love it. I'm always out in the water and having a real good time here this weekend.
Do you think you might like to compete in this after what you've seen this weekend?
Definitely next year, for
All
sure.
right.
Yeah.
Teresa Sousa, the Executive Director of the International Jet Ski Boating Association, David Severson. David, this Coors OP World Championship has the largest purse in the history of jet skiing, but also one of the biggest purse in the history of boating.
Yes, Larry, it's $30,000, and it'll be split between 23 champions here this weekend.
That is a lot of money, $30,000 bucks.
It is. We raised it $5,000 from last year, and the jet skiers are going to earn it here today.
Thanks, Dave. We'll be right back with more action.
Welcome back to the beautiful Nautical Inn Beach on the shores of Lake Havasu, site of the 1984 Coors OP World Jet Ski Championships. The next round of competition will feature the exciting and unbelievable jet ski freestyle contestants, who have 2 minutes each to put all their stunts and riding antics together, hoping to earn a high score from the 5 judges. And the judges had their hands full with tricks that included juggling, high-speed spins, headstands, and backflips displayed by novice, expert, and pro-class freestylers. But the competition everyone was waiting for would again showcase the fantastic riding skills of Brian Bendix, Larry Rippenkroeger, and David Gordon, the premier freestylers of the world. It was Flyin' Brian up first, opening up with his patented barefoot skiing run, moving smoothly into a back headstand and through a difficult routine of controlled power leaps and crashes. And it scored well with both the crowd and the judges. In moved young Dave Gordon, holding center stage, and what a show he put on, opening with a backward slide with a 360-degree turnaround on the tray, then into a deep water pullout. David added a series of high-speed reverse slides and spins, stringing his tricks and stunts together without hesitation. The crowd roared its approval as the East Coast Flash executed a seemingly impossible 180-degree reverse turn and controlled the moving jet ski from a backward standing position. Moving into his final tricks, David displayed his confidence and topped his spectacular show by submarining his jet ski while standing on the hood, driving it under the closed course jump and recovering to a standing position. Then, in a well-planned and choreographed finish, he balanced the 240-pound jet ski on its tail in the deep water and signaled to the judges that his freestyle act had reached the end. Next, it was the Ripper, the first rider to pilot 2 skis at one time, feeling the pressure. He was on top of his freestyle routine, moving strongly and flying smoothly to the cheers from the crowd. As his routine neared completion, the trick he had innovated earlier in the season and the one that Gordon had pulled off came up short. The nose of the jet ski and Larry's head caught the bottom of the jump, resulting in a smashed ski jump, but no injury to the Ripper. The crowd and other competitors loved it, but the judges had to score it as a missed stunt. The slow-motion replay captured the miscue as ski and rider are too close to the surface and break through the jump. Ripper gives it a thumbs up for the show, but he finished second. The popular victory went to David Gordon, and Mark Lauber caught him in the winner's circle.
It was outstanding, David. Let me ask you, was that pre-planned? Did you have it in your mind what you wanted to do before you went out in the water?
Yes, it was, definitely. I, like many of the other riders, go out with a pre-planned routine, and fortunately for me, I pulled off most of all my tricks and won it.
What do you think is the single most trick that gets you the most points?
I would have to say my 180 turnaround backwards. That's a risky trick, and if pulled off, it has been scoring me a lot of points all circuit long, and I'm sure it scored me some points here.
No doubt about it. Nobody else does that trick. You did it with perfection today. You also did a trick I've never seen you do before. You went under the bunny hop. Did you ever practice that?
Yes, we have a bunny hop made at home where I practice, and I practice going over the bunny hop on the hood and also under it, and this weekend I decided to go under it.
Well, you did a spectacular job. Wish you the best of luck. You know you're going to have to go over that bunny hop in the closed course races to come.
Right.
Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much, Mark.
With his loss in freestyle and having had Brian Bendix also pull off an upset on the Pro Superstock closed course final, Larry Rippenkroeger's grasp on the #1 title spot had slipped to the main event of the day, the Pro Modified closed course final. This would be his last chance, and the Ripper no longer held the favorite's role, despite the fact he had dominated this event all season. The Pro Modified final would be for all the marbles, the big horsepower event with jet skis hopped up to hit speeds close to 60 miles an hour on the straightaway. While the top 16 jet ski riders in the world were set at the starting line, Mark Lauber was able to corner the 2 title contenders.
After a year of intense racing, it's all come down to this, the modified closed course at the World Finals. I'm on the beach with 2 of the favorites, Larry Rippenkroeger and Brian Bendix. Larry, what's it going to take to pull off a win here in the final event?
Well, you know, the start's the most important part of the race. I like that back straightaway. I got a lot of horsepower. That's where I can really put it to use, and hopefully I can just stay smooth and pull it off.
Brian, what about you?
Well, like you said, the start is half the race, and it's just going to take a lot of hard pushing on my part.
We wish you both the best of luck. Let's hit the starting line.
The engines are cranked up and ready on the line, and the stage is set for the World Jet Ski Championship. There's the green flag from starter Steve Strickland, and they are off. It's a flat-out drag race to the first turn buoy with Bendix on the inside and the Ripper on the outside. And it's Rippenkroeger blasting out of the turn first, pouring on the power down the long back straightaway, hitting over 60 miles an hour. Flyin, Brian Bendix right on his tail, followed by David Gordon, the East Coast rider, and the rest of the field. Larry Rippenkroeger looks in full command. He's using all his strength and coordination to handle the awesome horsepower. It is Rippenkroeger in front.
Especially coming into this event, I train extremely hard. I train hard all summer long, but for this event, the past 3 weeks now, I've been doing nothing but riding and training, just concentrating strictly on this event.
Larry's training and practice would have to carry him through this event, but he was in a similar position in last year's final when he misjudged a jump in the rough water and broke 2 bones in his wrist. In film from last year's event, Larry's right wrist is shown being forced down, snapping the bones that had been broken earlier in that year in a motorcycle accident. But Rippenkroeger looks stronger than ever today as he maintains a 3-second lead over Bendix. Rippenkroeger flying over the water. And Bendix appears to be closing the gap little by little each lap. Rippenkroeger is pulling him on that long back straightaway. But Flyin Brian closes fast as they move into the serpentine turns. And now closing on Bendix is young David Gordon. As the 3 leaders started to move up on slower riders at the back of the pack, the Lake Havasu surface was being churned into a bone-crushing chop, making it more difficult to corner and a set of crucial timing for the 2 jumps that bounced in the course. The experience of racing the long IJSBA season, a 20-race nationwide circuit that stretched from coast to coast starting in April and ending in the fall at Lake Havasu, was paying off for the leaders.
Well, it means the culmination of a long, hard summer, really. You got 20 races throughout the summer, and you got select people that follow that circuit, and then you have the other people that don't. And those people come out for the World Finals, and that's really where it all boils down to whether you're the best or you're not.
Rippenkroeger and Bendix still haven't slowed up despite the slower riders and rough water. They are moving so fast through the field of skiers that some of the other skiers don't know where they are until the leaders rocket by them. But Bendix is still pushing Ripper hard and making up more time in the sharp turns coming off the back straight. All Bendix needs now is a slip, a mistake, any bobble by Rippenkroeger. But it's Brian who slips and recovers quickly. Into the last lap, the last set of buoys for Rippenkroeger. It looks like the World Championship is back in his hands. But Bendix, pulling on all the stops, using all his championship skills, is relentless as he chases Larry through traffic, edging closer with a few turns and 1 jump to go to the finish. Suddenly, Rippenkroeger closes fast over the jump on a slower rider, and the rider falls directly in front of him. Somehow, the Ripper twists his ski and body deep into the turn and moves between the fallen rider and his ski. It could have been the mistake that would have cost Rippenkroeger the race and the championship. But it was Larry Rippenkroeger taking the checkered flag, a happy and excited Ripper, pushing to the lead and holding it to the finish to unseat defending champion Brian Bendix. He was the 1984 World Champion and Pro Modified winner and would carry the #1 plate into the 1985 season.
Woo! It was an incredible race. It all came down to the last race of the season after an intense battle. The Pro Modified closed course won by this year's champion, Larry Rippenkroeger. Great job, Larry.
Thank you very much, Mark. I'm a little tired right now, but I'll be all right in a couple of minutes.
Where do you feel you really won the race?
That back straight. My sponsor, Ed Miller Performance Jet Ski, has given me a lot of horsepower, and down that back straightaway, I could really use it.
You know, Brian Bendix was right on your tail the whole race. Did you feel the pressure?
Well, I had Steve Johnson give me pit signals at the end of that front straight, and so I knew where Brian was all the time. I didn't have to really look back, so I all I had to do was just concentrate was on what was out in front of me.
You looked a little squirrely out there at times. Were you getting tired?
No, that modified is just a handful, you know. It can get you in trouble real easy.
Larry, I know you're tired. We're going to give you a chance to catch your breath, and we'll be right back with more from Larry Rippenkroeger.
We're back in Victory Circle at the Coors Ocean Pacific World Jet Ski Championship. Dave Severson, the congratulations to Larry Rippenkroeger.
Good race, Larry. Congratulations.
New world champion, Larry Rippenkroeger. You didn't make it easy. It was a tough race.
Yeah, it was. Brian was right there the whole race, and I made one mistake. He just about got by me, and it was a real tough race. A lot rougher out there than I thought it was going to be.
It looked like you both made a number of mistakes, falling down and getting back up again and lapping slower riders.
Yeah, the lapped riders, the rough water, it was a real challenge.
Larry Rippenkroeger, the world jet ski champion. I'm Larry Huffman with Mark Lauber thanking you for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed the Coors OP World Jet Ski Championships from Lake Havasu City, Arizona. Thanks for joining us.